All right, what's going on, everyone? This is Aiden Wood Mix and Mastering here, and today we are going to do a quick and easy DJ master for the house song that we mixed in our last 5 videos. If you haven't checked those out, please do. But today we're going to do a quick and easy DJ master using only Ableton plugins. And I think the reason why I wanted to do this is because I often hear that people really need third-party plugins to get a good master, to get them ready and playable for DJs for their own sets. But the fact of the matter is that's not the case. Ableton has pretty much everything you need to get your song ready to be played. And so that's what I'm going to do today, is we're going to dive into just that. It's a very simple process, but it'll get you to the loudness that you need and the balance that you need for your song to sound good on the big speakers. So yeah, let's just dive into that. So we'll give our song a quick listen here. We're always checking our meters, so we're at minus 5.3. That's around what we want, between minus 5 and minus 6. So that's sounding good. So what we're going to start with is our peaks. So we have some peaks from our waveform, of course. This is going to be the loudest parts, where in this song it's going to be when the synth plays on the 1 at the drop. Right at the beginning, we have that hawk noise right at the front too. So what we want to do is catch pretty much the peaks of that exact part. So we'll start with the catch peaks here, and we'll dial back the threshold. So we're doing it right on that 1. We don't want it to be any more than minus 2, minus 3, because if it's anything more than that, the distortion will be pretty noticeable. You can do maybe one more. 2 minus 12, add a little bit of makeup. Perfect. So that's catching just the very beginning of the peak, so we don't have to worry about that quite as much. Next, we are going to use Ableton's saturator as a second peak catch. We're going to actually use it as a soft clipper here though. So what I'll do is I'll use the saturator. We'll switch this to analog clip. We'll put this on soft clip. And what we'll do is we'll just bring the drive up a little bit. And bring the output back a bit to match that. What we'll see is a good amount of clipping going on. Soft clipping so that it's not quite as distorted. It's a little easier on the ears. But we'll see here on our peaks. So we're going from minus 5 to minus 6.3. And that's going to give us a lot of headroom that we need to get our song to the loudness that we want it to be. Again, so that it can be ready and playable for your DJ sets, for other DJs' DJ sets. This is a really important part of the process, which is catching those initial peaks. This is going to help us have the space we need to get our song to the final loudness that we need it to be. And so please don't overlook this as one of the most important parts of the process. Next, what we'll do is we're going to use a multi-band imagery here. And you might be wondering what the hell I just said, but we are using a bunch of Ableton plugins to create a multi-band and allow us to pick and choose the wideness of certain frequencies, so our low, mid, and high frequencies in this case. We're going to allow these things to have either less or more width, depending on the way we turn the knob. And if you guys want this, I can put this in the description below, and I can just make this a free download or something. I just made this using some of the Ableton plugins, using the EQ3, and then using utility here just to modify the width of our frequencies. And so what we're going to do here is let's just set these to the default, so all 100%. And we'll listen to before and after. So bring our low width down. up a bit. Make these claps and synths a bit wider.
You wanna know that?
And maybe we can bring our highs out a bit too.
You wanna know that?
Cool, so if we turn this off, now if we turn it on,
You wanna know that?
yeah, and if you're using headphones, you're gonna notice a big change there. The drums are gonna sound wider, especially those hi-hats. We're gonna hear more width on those synths as well, a little bit in the vocal as well. So if your mix is lacking in the stereo width, you might have to add an imager at the end if you're the mastering engineer in this case. This is normally something that you would want to address in the mix itself as the mixing engineer, but if it does come to you as the mastering engineer and you feel like everything is really mono, there's not a lot of the stereo frequency being used, then I would definitely suggest using some sort of multi-band imager just to beef up the width of the sound. Amazing, so we're pretty much almost there now. Yeah, we might just look here now for an EQ just to see if there's any bits of the song that we want to bring out or maybe bring back a bit. So we can try just kind of singing along here.
You wanna know that? You are the kid. You don't really wanna know that. You are the kid.
Cool, so we have a little boost there.
You wanna know that?
Nice, so that's adding a lot to pretty much everything there. We got the highs coming out a bit. We have our low coming out a bit more too. Sort of a little bit of a reduction in the 1K area, in the 800 area, but that's adding a lot of character and air to our song there. And so we're pretty much about done at this point. What we are gonna wanna do now is we're gonna add our final limiter so that we can get it to the loudness that we need it to. So we'll bring the ceiling up to 0.0 and we will up the input gain.
You wanna know that? You wanna know that?
And we're usually looking at the maximum to be -3 in the limiter. Anything around the -4 range is you're likely going to hear distortion, and we don't want to hear any distortion in our final mix and master. So I would say try and hover around -3 with our final limiter. And the other thing we're looking here is we're looking to hit around between -8 and -6 LUFS with our final song. So there's not actually a good way to check this with Ableton stock plugins. There are a lot of free options though. So there's one called U-Lean Loudness Meter, which I see a lot of people use. But I use something called mini meters, and this plugin's like $5 or $10 or something. But they have a LUFS detector here. And so what I'll do is I'll just throw this on and I'll listen to the loudest part. We can see this is
You wanna know that?
comfortably hitting -8 LUFS, dipping into the -7 a little bit. So we know that this is ready for the big speakers. We're at the LUFS level that we needed to. And so the song is ready to go. So thanks so much guys for watching. This has been mastering our house music song, doing a DJ master with Ableton stock plugins. If you have any questions at all about anything I used in this video, please let me know and I'll be sure to get back to you in the comments. And yeah guys, this has been Aiden Wood Mixing and Mastering. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.